God works in our life. Notice in this passage, there are basically three different parts, three different instruments, I'd like to call them. First of all, they're the hands of God, then the wheel of God, and then the potter's house itself. And so we notice here, first of all, the hands of the potter, which represents the very hands of God. And we can see another picture of this. I've got a little snapshot here for you, if you can throw that up with the potter. Yep, there you go. And so here we find the potter at this point has already molded the clay, and it's almost finished. We almost have a finished product here. But in the meantime, a lot really goes on. He's taking it off the shelf, and now, after he's molded, he's put it on the wheel, and he puts his thumb down in between in order to enlarge the hole inside the pottery. And the further his hand goes down, the deeper and the wider it becomes. Now, this would be painful to the clay if it could feel it, like you and I feel things. But God has his hand even in our life. Then on the outside, he begins to mold it and smooth it out. When the potter runs across something bad, he takes it off the wheel and he takes out the trash out of the clay and places it right back on. So we find, first of all, a picture here, the hands of God doing an internal work in our life. In other words, God is actively working in your life. How does he do that? Internal pressure. How does he do that? Well, it's unmistakable. You can't miss it. It's when you read the Bible and God changes your life. You've done that. I've done that. We've read the Bible and we said, man, look at this verse. It speaks to your heart. Unmistakable. It's not really all that painful a lot of times. You're inspired to do something in your life. He does it through prayer. You're praying and God speaks to your heart through prayer. Maybe just the Holy Spirit of God is speaking to your heart through either the Bible, prayer, or another individual, or a sermon, or a Bible study that you're about. It's unmistakable. You know that God has put his finger on something in your life. It's like he's putting his finger down inside the bowl and he's beginning to mold it from the inside. Now, if you and I were just going through that, man, that'd be great. It'd be wonderful. But that's not really enough. God is also using something on the outside as well. J. Wilbur Chapman, a great pastor, preacher of old, said this: the clay is not attractive in itself, but when the hands of the potter touch it and the thought of the potter is brought to bear upon it, the plan of the potter is worked out in it and through it, then there is a real transformation. And so God is working inside, but now God also has to work also on the outside, called exterior pressure, and that's where the wheel comes in. The wheel here represents the circumstances and the tools that on the outside that God is using in our life in order to bring about change in our life.